Well, we've come to the end. I'm so disappointed. This I need more books. I need more books yesterday. And would you believe it? I wrote the author a note on her Facebook page and she responded in seconds. Literally seconds. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that amazing? I've had two authors talk to me this week telling me they like my reviews of their books. Is that not awesome? Is that not cool? Now if I can only get people to see my videos. But if you watched If Then last week, if you like this author, then maybe you like that author. And I've done 23 of those so far. I did this whole thing on time travel. If you liked Outlander, you might like these books. And I was so enthusiastic with my reviews that I found a new author for me to read. I actually got a reference from my own reference. Isn't that great? So welcome to the Dealer's Book Series. I'm Christina, K-R-I-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books and talk about books. No special effects going on here. What you see is what you get. And I'm so excited that these people have talked to me. It's so awesome. I do, every once in a while, talk to Cheryl and Kenyon too, but Ann Hillerman watched my Lost Birds video. And I hope Julie will watch these videos when she has time to watch them. But these have been an amazing 6 books, and I'm so looking forward to the next one. So Kendra was an FBI agent in 2015, and she was on this op. And if you go back and watch Murder in Time, she was on an op, and the op went all wrong. She ended up in the hospital, and then she got it in her head to track down the killer that got away. And I explained all of that in book 1, A Murder in Time, in the video. I talked about how she decided to go back to England, and she went to this reenactment party where the killer was going to be, so she got dressed up in a maid's costume. And I don't know how I said that I would tell her if she could go back in time and stop herself from doing that, or maybe she's decided that she likes, you know, um, this computer keeps turning itself off. I absolutely hate it. I'm trying to figure out how to fix it. I don't know how to fix it. So anyways, if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. So anyways, she had gone to this reenactment party and she made plans to meet the killer in secret and private. Maybe if she could skip that rendezvous and just go into the hallway in the hidden hallway, hidden passageway, and come back to England, that'd be great. She could bring a suitcase with some sneakers and jeans, and some Tylenol, some Motrin, some ladies' products. That'd be awesome too. Maybe some Chef Boyardee, some canned goods. But she's so afraid of messing up the timeline now. But anyway, she's been in England a year now, and I keep hoping is falling in love with Alec. The Duke has gotten a feeling for her. She's been solving these cases. I keep saying she should do a Darcy Wilde useful woman thing and start working with Bow Street. But of course, now that she's going to be an elevated woman of title, Alec is just going to have to get used to the fact that even though she's an elevated woman of title, she's still going to be wanting to go out and solve cases. It's what she does. It's who she is. It's part of her. And and she's got to deal with Lady Atwood. Some of the stuff Lady Atwood does is hysterical. Forcing Kendra to go to balls and learn how to dance and do all this stuff. It's just... I just love these books to death, and I keep hoping, because it's been brought up in the past that Kendra may or may not have difficulties having children because of the surgery, because of the injuries from the first book, from here. that maybe she'll get with child and have to go back to the future for the sake of the child. Like Claire Randall Beecham Fraser had to go back to the future, but then Claire Beecham Randall Fraser managed to go back to the past again after a few years. So maybe the author will work those in. I don't know. I also keep hoping, and it was later mentioned in the book, but I keep hoping that she'll send to Italy for some materials, for tomato sauce, for some mozzarella. I don't know how they'd keep it fresh in that long storage, and make some pizza. Because I just want to see Lady Atwood have some pizza. I really do. I just want to see the chick have to sit down and eat a pizza or spaghetti meatballs. We need some Italian food. We need some lettuce and all this other thing. We need some Italian food instead of all this turtle bean soup and stuff. Come here. Come say hi. This is my co-host. We haven't seen him in a while. This is Mr. Casanova. Now, we did name him. The rescue named him. If I would have named him, he'd have been Sylvester. You get it? Tweety Bird and Sylvester? He's a good little boy. He's afraid of girls. And when I tell people that, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, he won't go near you. No. He's afraid of girl cats. We've had many, many girls in this house during his lifetime, and he's been scared of every last one of them, and every last one of them has taken great pleasure in tormenting him. Don't know why, but that's just how they are. So, we did Murder in Time. We did Twist in Time. We did Pot in Time. We did Betrayal in Time. We did Shadows in Time. And now we are on the last one till next year, Ripples in Time. And she has a chance to go back and let me be clear to you all. Spoilers, lots and lots of spoilers. I don't spoil the whodunit, but I spoil everything else. I love the character progression. I'm a series person. All of those books up there are series. I'm going to be revamping them later this week. Some of them are going to shift, so their positions will shift. But I love her rapport with Sam Kelly and Dr. Monroe. I love that they're letting her do all this stuff. I'm excited that she's sharing her expertise with them. She needs to get some rubbing alcohol and some soap for washing hands and disinfectant for doing the autopsies. Maybe she can help them develop a few new machines, and if they keep it to themselves, then it won't affect the timeline and then the real person who develops it. But I keep thinking that she should go into a coffee house and help a guy make the fuzzy whipped cream, or use her knowledge, because she's supposed to be a really brilliant kid, and use her knowledge to help people improve other things in life too, especially pizza. I got it on my brain for pizza today. I don't know why. But I just kept thinking she should send to Italy. And apparently her and Alec may or may not be going to Italy for their honeymoon, because he wants her to meet his mother's side of the family, I think it is. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe she'll finally get some pizza. But we start this book off, and Kendra, there's this boy, the gypsies, they make a very, very brief appearance in that episode. It reminds me a little bit of Joanna Lindsay. I think it's Home for the Holidays, where the Mallorys descend from gypsies. Would you believe it? But this little kid finds this guy on the horse, and he's been shot. And then they report to the Duke, and the Duke and Kendra go investigate, and he's the Earl of Claymore, and he's the end of his line, so now it's going to be a first cousin that's going to inherit. And she's also, the Duke was when on their way out there, they're having a little conversation that the Duke used to explore the land. They would look for fossils, and he didn't know, I didn't know, and I'm not. I should research this if it's true or not. If it's just the author's privilege, but apparently the term dinosaur wasn't termed yet, so I need to go check that out because I think the term dinosaur should have been termed a hell of a lot sooner than after 1816. I'll have to check that out. So I love the little, oh, in her uh well, first let me go back here. I want to go back a second. I'm getting ahead of myself. So they find out that this guy is dead, and they take him to the Earl of, put him in the ice house and send for Sam Kelly, the Bow Street Runner, and Dr. Moreau. I'm getting to know these people. You get to know these people, they become your friends, your characters, your life. A lot of those characters are my friends, my life too. Um, so, and they get for the local constable, and they talk to Lady Atwood because they want to know who Claymore's relatives are. And so Lady Atwood was in one of the castle's smaller drawing rooms, enjoying a cup of tea and reading a book in front of a crackling fire. She was a widow with grown children, but since her husband's death, she returned to her ancestral home to live most of the year. And to make my life miserable, Kendra reflected ruefully. At their entrance, the Countess carefully plucked eyebrows rose, nearly touching the burnished gold satin turban that she often favored over the traditional lace caps donned by the matrons of a certain age. The turban matched the evening gown she'd worn for dinner. A three-tier pearl choker circled her throat. Lady Atwood did not do casual. What has happened? She demanded, casting a sharp look at her brother. My maid said there is talk below stairs about gypsies finding an injured man in the forest. What do you know about the Earl of Claymore? The Duke asked. I assume this is not a random question. I am not well acquainted with his family, but I know Benedict Lansing had some kind of fit last fall. I believe he lingered for some weeks before he eventually perished. The title passed to his son Reginald. I recall that much. Anything else? Well, there was a scandal. Yeah, well, come on. What? What scandal? What scandal? Um, uh, apparently this one of the ladies in the family wanted to elope, and they didn't want it to elope, so they put her in an insane asylum because she didn't want to elope. They put this chick in the insane asylum because she didn't want to elope. How insane is that? How insane is that? That they put her in the insane asylum because she wanted to elope with this guy who was obviously after her money, and she didn't see it. She was in love. So they put her in an insane asylum. What the F is up with that? Explain that one to me. Um, so they have to go to talk to Lady Jane, but we'll get that later. But I am absolutely enjoying the relationship between Kendra and Molly. Now, Kendra is like us, doesn't have servants, used to doing things for herself. She worked for the FBI. She's been on her own. She's always done stuff by herself. Used to be dependent on herself, cooking her own food, going to fast food restaurants, going to Chinese, Italian, Mexican, Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, going to all those places by herself. And her and Molly have this talk because Molly is her lady's maid, and uh, let's see. Lady Atwood believes I'm bringing murder and mayhem into the world. Seems to me like there are plenty of murder and mayhem in the world before you came, miss. Her ladyship just don't like to admit it. She likes to view the world like it was a lady done up in her finery, all sparkling in candlelight, through rose-colored glasses. Now we know, and you know, what rose-colored glasses are. That's just someone who likes to see the positive in all things, that the glass is half full and not half empty. Um, uh, I can't change who I am, even if that makes other people uncomfortable. Do you regret that you are my lady's maid, Molly? I'll never be normal, conventional. Oh, never thought, I'd be a lady's maid, miss. At most, I opted to be an upstairs maid. If ye not being conventional, she pronounced the unfamiliar word carefully, means giving someone like me a chance to better herself, well then I'm grateful, I am. Molly went quiet for a moment, then grinned suddenly at Kendra in the mirror. We make a bright pair, miss. Oh, reckon I ain't a proper lady's maid either. That's a nice way to look at it. It's so cute. It's just so cute. So then Alex shows up. He had been in town for some stuff, and they tell him about the Earl of Claymore, and she wants to go jump in a. They figure the one person that's going to know is Lady Jane. And she just wants to jump in the old car and hike it into London, take 45 minutes. But no, there's all these rules and regulations. There's no cars. There's only a horse and buggy or carriage. And it's just, before they do that, they go to the inn where the Earl of Claymore was, and they search his rooms. They find nothing. But why did I want to read this page? I have to just go look. They're talking about the Earl had a diamond, and they make it a really big part of the story. And the author made some of it up and didn't make the other parts up, so you can just read that for yourself. But there is a diamond that there is some truth in this, but a lot of it she made it up, and I'm glad she said that at the end of the book, because I was searching all over and couldn't find anything. But there is something about the royal jewels. There is some mystery there, so you can go play with that. But like I said, so the fact that she wants to just jump in the car and go see Lady Jane. But it's just, since Lady Atwood didn't know who was next in line to inherit the earldom, there was one other person Kendra knew who could supply that information, Lady St. James. Several months ago, the Duke's sister had introduced her to the matron. Not only was she a very good friend of Lady Atwood's, but she was one of the most notorious gossips in London. In other words, she was the perfect source. Kendra could ask Lady Atwood to send a messenger to London for the information, but she preferred talking face to face. In her experience, unexpected information could be uncovered during such interviews. Unfortunately, traveling to London was a logistical nightmare. Correction, traveling as a single upper-class lady in the 19th century was a logistical nightmare. Ironically, it would have been easier if she'd been a member of the lower class. Then she'd be able to jump on a public coach without anybody looking at her sideways. So she has to wait till the next day, and they have to get the carriage, and she can't go alone, and Alex wants to go with her, even though Molly is coming with her as a chaperone. They can't be in the carriage together, and Alex got to stay at his house. He can't stay at her house, and she's got the servants. There's a whole slew. It's just hysterical. And nowadays, you want to go out with somebody, you just go. So that was just really cute. So the Earl of Claymore is dead, and they think, wrongly, that he was killed for the diamond. And while the diamond plays a huge part in the story, it's not the reason he was killed. It has nothing to do with the reason he was killed. But I will let you discover what the real reason is at the end. But they discover that he was, like I had mentioned previously, that the sibling was incarcerated in the insane asylum because she wanted to elope with the money, the guy that wanted her for her money only, and she wouldn't accept it, and they went to Gretna Green, but they got caught. So, Kendra wants to go talk to the chick and find out what's going on. So the Duke and Kendra, they go to the insane asylum, and they walk in on horrific. You know these things happened in history. You know that these were the procedures they put people through, and yet it was accepted. And you have to, you know, didn't any of these doctors think about putting themselves in this condition and how they would feel with all this stuff going on to them? And we've heard about all the brain surgeries that they attempted to remove a portion of the brain. They ended up killing all these people for, they put these people in insane asylums and let them do whatever they wanted, took away all their rights as people and just abused them. And it's just horrific, some of the stories that come out of history about what went on in the early years with the handicapped in these asylums, and the insane in the asylums, if they were really insane or not, or if rich relatives just wanted to get rid of them without killing them. They just thought it was appropriate. They could just put them in this room and lock them there forever. The whole thing is just horrible. So they walk in, and the shelves were lined with amber-tinted bottles and jars. The dirt moved in a few of the jars, wiggling black worms, Kendra thought, but no leeches. In the middle of the room was a strange contraption, a metal box bolted in the middle of a steel pole that ran floor to ceiling. A crank jutted out of the top bowl. The box was big enough to hold the person, and the leather restraints fixed inside the container indicated that holding a person was indeed its purpose. A woman was wet and naked and blindfolded and strapped to a chair. Screaming unleashed furious obscenities as the orderly Crump poured a bucket of cold water over her head. Another man was standing in fronting her, holding a hose attached to her barrel. He pumped pedal hit with his foot to get the water going, squirting the woman's cloth-covered face. Is this waterboarding? Is this a primitive attempt at waterboarding? Is this horrible? Is this horrible what they're doing to this woman? Absolutely horrible. This place needs to be shut down. And Kendra brings a little bit of the 20th century, 21st century into it. And having read a few of these books, J.D. Robb, Eve Dallas encountered a situation like this. There's been a couple of books this year. Alex Cross's encountered this situation. A lot of the authors tackled this, but she brings it up. One of the first investigations that I was involved in as a field agent was a sex trafficking case. We followed a lead to a house, an average-looking house, really, in an average-looking neighborhood. There was nothing sinister about it. It was all so damn normal. But there was nothing average or normal about what we found in the basement of the house. At least 30 half-naked, half-starved girls, children in shackles. There were a few cots, but most slept on the concrete floor, and the buckets were overflowing with their stuff. It smelled like piss and shit and body odor. Most of those kids had been there for 190 days, more than half a year. They'd been raped, drugged, and beaten into submission and accepted their fate. They were all handed over to prostitution rings. How horrible is that this stuff goes on today? And there's a lot of it going on today. A lot of organizations are trying to get proactive about it. I wish that these politicians would stop worrying about and complaining about each other and start working on laws for the people, to get health insurance for peoples and care for people and handle, modern issues, handle modern people stuff, handle the laws, make things better for their constituents instead of worrying about each other and spending their time with hate rhetoric. Just do the job you were elected to do. Just be the congressman you were elected to be and do the work that you were elected to be. Help the military out. Help these people get medical care. Help get farming. Help businesses survive in the United States. Do some of that stuff. So the book goes on. I don't think there's any but so they investigate the Earl of Claymore's death. Kendra does a lot of questioning. She narrows down her pool of suspects, finds out quite a bit of information about the different families involved and what's going on at the insane asylum. And this Alec gives her a gift. And apparently, when Americans get engaged, there's a ring involved in the engagement, an engagement ring. Apparently, Alex gives her a pair of gloves. Like, uh-huh. But, the, Lady Atwood, has a talk with her, and it's just, I get such a kick out of this. I heard that my nephew gave you a betrothal gift, Lady Atwood said. Yes, Kendra says. Well then, it appears that neither one of you will change your mind about this marriage. The Countess seemed to hold her breath as hoping Kendra would contradict her. Then I shall make arrangements for us to go to London. Huh? Why? What? You can hardly use the modiste here in Aldrich Village for your bridal dress, Miss Donovan. I shall make an appointment with Madame Godet. You need a new gown for the ball. We shall leave tomorrow morning. I can't go to London tomorrow. I'm in the middle of investigation. Lady Atwood arched her perfectly plucked eyebrows. You are not listening, Miss Donovan. I did not ask a question. I was making a statement. I am telling you that we are traveling to London tomorrow. You just gotta love it. She ends up going through all this other stuff first, so I don't think she made it to London the next day, but maybe the next day after that. But you'll have to check out the book to find out who the real murderer is, to find out how many other people get murdered, if other people get murdered, and what the real reason for the murder was. You will have to check out the book. And there is a chance for Kendra to go back to the future in this. And it passes, and I was kind of disappointed. I kind of wish she would go to the future, not more than one book, and then come back to Alec, or maybe Alec go with her. But he would need to go back to so that the line would carry on. Otherwise, the line ends, and the whole past changes. But it would be interesting to see what happens if she goes to the future for a short period of time and then goes back to the past like Claire did. Because we all want her with Alec, right? We all rooting for her to get familiar with Alec, but I'm just thinking of all these complications with birth. No sonograms, no vitamins, no Tylenol for labor pains, or that thing that goes in the spine at birth. No things to help with the pain. All she's got is Logium. There are so many reasons to come to the forward to the future to get, and then go back to the past with him, and just make sure that no one else sees them. Maybe take a few cans of Chef Boyardee with you and some vegetables and other stuff. I am so sad to let these books go, but we have to let them go and wait till the next one comes out, and we have to look for a new series. Now, if anybody has any ideas, let me know in the comments. Really appreciate it. But, so we have Ripples in Time, we just finished. Shadow in Time. Betrayal in Time. Caught in Time. Twist in Time. A Murder in Time. And I got my own recommendation for my own If Then series. So, if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And check out Flashback Monday too. I'd really appreciate that too.